The Surangama Sutra, with excerpts from the commentary by the Venerable Master Xuanhua, a new translation from the Buddhist Text Translation Society. Part 2. The Nature of Visual Awareness. Chapter 4. The true nature of visual awareness is not lost. Ananda then stood up, bowed to the Buddha, knelt, put his palms together, and said to the Buddha, "World-honored one, if our visual awareness and our awareness of sounds, too, indeed do not come into being and do not perish, why, then, did the world-honored one say that we have lost track of our true nature and our actions are deluded, as if we were upside down and not right side up? I hope the world-honored one, out of kindness, will clear away the dust of our delusions." At that time, bending his golden-hued arm so that his wheel-lined fingers pointed downward, the thus come one said to Ananda, "Here you see my hand as it forms a mudra. Is it upside down or is it upright?" Ananda said, "Ordinary people would take it to be upside down. I myself do not know what may be called upright and what is upside down." The Buddha said to Ananda, "If ordinary people would take this to be upside down, what then would people consider to be upright?" Ananda said, "They would call it upright if the thus come one raised his arm so that his hand, which is soft as cotton, was pointing upward into the air." Then the Buddha raised his arm and said to Ananda, "Ordinary people are deluded if they suppose that reversing the way my arm is pointing means that my arm itself has changed. And if, in the same way, we compare the bodies of ordinary people to the pure Dharma body of the thus come one, we might describe the Dharma body of the thus come one as endowed with right and all-encompassing knowledge, and ordinary people's bodies as upside down. But consider more carefully this comparison of the Buddha's body with your bodies, which are said to be upside down. Where exactly might the characteristic upside down be found?" At this point, Ananda and the others in the great assembly were dazed. They stared unblinking at the Buddha. They did not know where, in their minds and bodies, the characteristic upside down might be. The Buddha, out of kindness, took pity on Ananda and on everyone else assembled there. He spoke to them in a voice that swept over them like the ocean tide. "All you good people, I have often said that all phenomena with physical form, all phenomena of mind, the conditions under which they arise, as well as the phenomena that interact with the mind, and all other conditioned phenomena, are mere manifestations of true mind. Your bodies and your minds appear within the wondrous light of the true essence of that wondrous mind. How is it that you have all lost track of the wondrous nature of the fundamental, marvelously perfect, wondrously understanding, and resplendent mind, so that your understanding of it is confused? Where do all the phenomena come from? The mountains, the rivers, the vegetation, and all the myriad things on this earth. They come forth from minds. All the myriad things are contained within the mind. It is not that these things contain the mind, but rather the opposite. Absolutely everything in the environment, both natural and man-made, is contained in a single thought of the mind, and all are produced from the mind. If you recognize your original true mind, all these things cease to exist. Then there is yet another mind above and beyond the conscious mind? No, but because people don't know how to use the wondrous mind, they think their conscious mind is their mind. Actually, they are mistaking a burglar for their own child, and for that reason they become confused. They think that they understand clearly about the wondrous nature of the fundamental, perfect, wondrously understanding mind, but they don't understand. They don't realize that they have a perfect, wondrously luminous mind, which is the precious light of our wondrous nature. They think the conscious mind they are aware of is their mind, but actually it is only confusion within confusion. Out of darkness, a mental void appears, and this dark void condenses to create a subtle object of mind. What characterizes this distorting mental activity is that it leads to the coming into being of the embryonic body. An internal confluence of causes distorts this body and distracts its attention outward. At this stage, there is confused agitation, and we take this agitation to be the true nature of the mind. Once we take this initial confusion to be the mind, we are committed to the delusion that the mind is inside the physical body. What you do not know is that the true, wondrous, luminously understanding mind contains the body and everything outside the body: mountains, rivers, sky, the entire world. You are like someone who fails to see a boundless ocean 100,000 miles across and is aware only of a single floating bubble. You see that bubble floating there and think it is the vast tide that surges toward the farthest branchings of the sea. Within your confusion, you are confused further, just as you were about my lowered arm. The thus come one says you are to be pitied. Most people think the mind is within the body. This is a great mistake. It is neither inside nor outside. It is not that our minds are within our bodies, but that we are within the true mind. Our mind encompasses empty space and the 10,000 things. It is not that empty space and the 10,000 things contain us. If you understand this doctrine, you have not lost track of your true mind.